बार बार एग्जाम दे रहे हैं और रिजल्ट नहीं आ रहा है और इतना अच्छा स्कोर नहीं आ रहा है, स्पीकिंग में बार बार फेल हो रहे हैं, जो सबसे ईजी सेक्शन है, क्या करें, कैसे करें? बार बार एग्जाम देने के बाद भी स्कोर नहीं आ रहा है, किस तरह से बोले? कोई कह रहा है बड़ा तेज बोलना है, कोई कह रहा है कि आराम से बोलना है, कोई कह रहा है कि चीख के बोलना है, कोई कह रहा है धीमे से बोलना है। तो आप बिल्कुल परेशान हो चुके हैं, अलग अलग तरीके से आपने एग्जाम दे दिए हैं और अभी आपका रिजल्ट नहीं आ रहा है। जस्ट मैसेज मी, आई जस्ट गिव यू टिप फॉर दैट, जस्ट सेंड मी योर ऑडियो, दैट्स अ स्पेशल ऑफर फॉर ऑल ऑफ यू। मुझे अपनी ऑडियो भेजिए, आई जस्ट चेक आउट योर ऑडियो ऑनलाइन एंड जस्ट गिव द इवैल्यूएशन ऑन द बिहाफ ऑफ टू यू। So I'll just tell you कि कितना टाइम आपको लगने वाला है and how many factors and the sectors you have to work for. So every time I'm just ready for you. If you want to get a valid score in your PT, just call me and just message me anytime. Have a nice day. Bye bye.
A service mark is very similar to a trademark, except that it is used to distinguish services in the stream of commerce. Like a trademark, a service mark can include words, names, symbols and logos. Typically, trademarks appear on the actual product or its packaging. Service marks appear mostly in advertising for the services. In this education center, when we use the term trademark, we generally mean both trademarks and service marks.
For any marketing course that requires development of marketing plan, such as marketing management, marketing strategy and segmentation support marketing. This is the only planning handbook that guides students through the step-by-step creation of customized marketing plan, while offering commercial software to aid in the process.
First discovered in 2007, fast radio bursts continue to defy explanation. These cosmic chirps last 1,000 of second. The characteristics of the radio pulses suggested that they came from galaxies billions of light years away. However, new work points to a much closer origin, flaring stars within our own galaxy. Each tube-shaped microbot is a sandwich of three materials: a graphene outer layer, which binds to heavy metals; a middle layer of nickel, which gives the bots magnetic polarity, so they can be pulled through wastewater with magnets; and platinum inside, for propulsion. Just add a bit of peroxide to the wastewater, and it'll react with the platinum to form water and oxygen bubbles, which propel the tubes along.
Being a student representative on the union really cuts into my study time.
I've got a tutorial in an hour and I haven't had any time to prepare for it.
They say Professor Jones's lectures are always interesting and funny.
This is the third time you've asked for an extension on this project.
There's an hourly bus service from the campus into town.
I think we should get together over the weekend to discuss this assignment.
The library will be closed for 3 days over the bank holiday weekend.
The pie chart illustrates the percentages of European Union population in different countries for the year 2007. As we can see, Germany was the most populous country with 16.6%, followed by France taking off 12.8% of the total population, while the United Kingdom and Italy contributed 12.3% and 11.9% in population respectively. Spain and Poland were smaller countries by population that fell between 7% and 9%. Rest of the 21 countries made the largest portion. Overall, we can conclude that it is the group of European countries with the largest population and not just one country.
The above graph represents information about men and women who are attending classes at different times in a day. It can be seen in both pie chart and a line graph that more than 70% women prefer morning classes as compared to 25% of men. However, for afternoon classes, 60% of women prefer this time as compared to about 40% of men. For evening classes, we can see that about 60% men prefer evening classes as compared to just 40% women. This variation can be due to working hours, or safety and security of women during late evening hours. The graph compares the amount of leisure time enjoyed by people of different employment levels. In the given column graph, no data has been provided for the part-time employed and house-staying men. Unemployed and retired men/women had approximate 85 and 83 hours of spare time respectively, followed by housewives who have 50 hours of leisure time. On the other hand, full-time employed men and women have comparatively less leisure time. In conclusion, unemployed and retired people enjoyed more leisure time than employed people. The supplied maps compare the changes that took place in a town between 1948 and 2010. Comparing the town map of 2010 with 1948, it has changed a lot, including the new airport, commercial buildings, supermarket, and sports stadium. From the center of the town to the northeast, the town had lakes surrounded with trees and the factories were situated in 1948. In the year 2010, these places are occupied by airport and supermarket. At the same time, in the bottom of the town, the local supermarket and church were substituted with commercial buildings and sports stadium. This pie chart refers to the average annual deaths attributable to cigarette smoking in the US in 2005 to 2009. According to the chart, more than 479,989 deaths in that period are attributable to cigarette smoking. Specifically, 29% of these deaths were caused by lung cancer. 28% were caused by ischemic heart disease. 21% were caused by chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. 10% were caused by other related diagnoses. 4% were caused by stroke, and 8% of annual deaths from 2005 to 2009 attributable to cigarette smoking were caused by other cancers. The graph shows changes in the price of fresh fruits and vegetables, sugar and sweets, and carbonated drinks over a 30-year period in the US. The graph also shows the general trend in the Consumer Price Index during this time. The Consumer Price Index and prices of sugar showed a steady increase from 1979 to 2009, whereas the rise in the price of carbonated drinks is prolonged. In contrast, price of fresh fruits and vegetables, despite periodic fluctuations, rose sharply. To conclude, we can say that overall inflation has increased in last 3 decades.
Take the coffee industry. The figures are roughly these. The coffee market in the world is worth about 60 billion. The growers get about 5.5 billion. 10 years ago, the market was about 30 billion, and the growers got a third of that. What has happened? What has happened is that well-meaning people, Americans, Germans, Europeans, decided that they would help Vietnam. And so they created a coffee industry there, which is now the second biggest producer in the world. This has had serious effects on other countries like Colombia that depend on coffee exports.
The lecture is about the changes that have taken place in coffee production. The production of coffee has increased from 30 billion to 60 billion since last 10 years. The huge demand of Europe and America has made Vietnam the second biggest producer, which has greatly affected Colombia's production. Last but not the least, the speaker highlights the changes in people's drinking habit. In general, this lecture is about coffee industry.
I marvelled at how often powerful feel powerless. But in the face of this sense of disempowerment, there's no decline in involvement in organisations which seek to share wealth and opportunities, which seek to protect one another's rights and work towards the common good. According to the UN, civil society groups have grown 40-fold since the turn of the last century. Last century. Internationally, the non-profit sector is worth $1 trillion. There are 700,000 not-for-profit organisations in Australia alone. 700,000. The UN recognises 37,000 specifically civil society organisations across the globe working in international relief and gives accreditation to many of them. The profound movement towards harnessing voices and resources from outside the realm of governments and officialdom reflects a growth in trust. The third sector, NGOs. Putnam, who discovered in the field of local government in Italy, the best predictor of governmental success was the strength and density of a region's civic associations.
The lecture is about the growth of NGO in modern society. The best predictor of governmental success is the strength and density of a region's civic associations. The non-profit sector is worth $1 trillion, and there are 700,000 NGOs in Australia. The UN recognized 37,000 civil society organizations across the globe and gave 3,500 accreditations to the 2002 World Summit on Sustainable Development. In conclusion, NGO are the core for any nation's development.
What's the joint called where your hand is connected to your arm?
Would you measure the volume of bottled water in litres or kilos?
Which hospital department would you go to for an X-ray? Radiology or cardiology?
Where would you most likely go to buy some flour? A bakery, a florist, or a supermarket?
What piece of equipment would you use to go diving in the sea? An aqualung or an aquaplane?
What is the most important document you would have to show if you wanted to hire a car?
Where would you store meat you wish to keep frozen at home?
A famous canal links the Mediterranean Sea with the Indian Ocean. Is it the Corinth or the Suez Canal?
A specialist who repairs leaking water pipes is called a
If you are feeling fed up, is it a positive or a negative feeling?